This is the third tutorial in a 3 tutorial series on trigger animations, and in the first tutorial we looked at the trigger animations and some tools that go with that. And in the second tutorial we looked at the trigger animation of the first type, which is when you click on one object, another object gets animated. And today we'll look at the trigger animation of the second type, which is when you click on one object and that triggers some kind of animation with the same object. So when I click this oval, it will change color. To create this animation step by step is that you create an object that will be animated, you select the animation for this object, and then you assign the same object as a trigger. So if we look at this example with the changing color, first thing to do is we need to have the object, which we do already. Now we have to assign an animation. So I would need to select my object, click on the Animations tab, and select the animation. And in this case, I would like to have the fill color to change. The change is pretty subtle, so I can go to Effect Options and click on something brighter, like blue. In this case, it will change slowly to blue. Now, I don't have a trigger assigned yet, so basically if I click anywhere on the screen, this animation will happen. So I need to click on this object, go to Trigger, and select on the click of the same shape. So here you'll see that a lightning icon appears, which means that this animation has a trigger assigned to it. Let's see how it works. Now let's take a look at what else you can do with this type of animation. So here is an example from Wheel of Fortune, where you can play a game with your students like you would in real life, where you have a word, you have something covering the letters, and when the learners tell you the letter, you can open it. So what programs lets you create trigger animations? And let's say they say P. And you open these letters here. Now let's see how it works. So here you can see, if we go to animation pane, that you have various rectangles and they serve as triggers for their own exit effect. If we also go to our home tab and go select selection pane, I will close the animation pane for now, you can see that here I have all rectangles and I can close them. And you will see what I have here is a simple chart with the letters added to it. So when the rectangle forms are hidden, you can go in and change anything you want. Maybe you want to change the color of it, or maybe you want to change the word. Anything you want to do, it's easy to edit it when you have these shapes hidden. Now before you exit, click the Show All button to have the task back to normal. Here you go, it all works again. Now if you brainstorm for different type of activities that you can do with type 2 trigger animations, it can be flashcards, and students can click flashcards that they already learned and they will change colors, or they can disappear after they learn them. You know, in crosswords you can show hints, you can fill in the blanks in the text, you can have memory games with words or images, or you can even do some puzzles if you want to. So here you can see the sample fill in the blank task for your learners, and that's a paragraph of text with some words covered, and let's say students guess correctly, and you can click on this shape to reveal the text behind it. So let's see how it works. Here we have this shape, and if we go to animations and animation pane, you can see that it has the exit effect dissolve out, and it has the trigger, which is the same shape. So now if I would like to have the same effect for this box, I would go to Animations pane and I would add an exit effect, which is dissolve out, which probably is under more exit effects. Yeah, it's right here. Okay, so if I go to the animation pane again, here it is, but it doesn't have a trigger yet. I can go to the trigger and So here you go. You have rectangle 4 and 5. And right now you have only 2, and you know that 4 was already there, so that must be 5. But if you have more objects on the screen, always rename them in the selection pane. So here you go. Let's see if it works. It does. Now the trick is once you have an object created on the screen with the trigger animation assigned to the same object, you can simply duplicate it by either clicking Ctrl C, Ctrl V, or Ctrl D for duplicating, and that will duplicate this form with the same effect assigned to it. And so you can add more of these shapes to cover other words. You just highlight it, Ctrl D for duplicate, and you will have many more shapes with the same effect. And then another one, you can have a puzzle. So here I have some kind of a picture hidden, and you can ask your learners questions, and when they click respond correctly, you can open part of the puzzle, and they can keep guessing what it is. In this case, it's a picture with a lot of fruit on it. This is the end of this tutorial and this tutorial series. I hope it was helpful and that you will use trigger animations creatively in your teaching.